Let me tell you a bit about Super Mario World. Super Mario World was one of only 2 launch titles for the Super Famicom in Japan. The other was F-Zero. Today it seems pretty crazy that a console launched with only 2 games, especially as most modern consoles are backwards compatible and launch with established libraries of thousands and thousands of games. But if you bought a Super Famicom at launch, these were the only 2 options you had. Thankfully, Super Mario World kicks ass. Personally, I preferred the box art for the Super Famicom version. The Western version is fine, and you could say it's iconic, but it's a little basic and looks like clip art to me. It shows Mario, which is important, and Yoshi is there, whose introduction was a big deal at the time. And you have the detail of Mario's cape showing the new power-up, but that's it. The Japanese box art, though, has this great manga-style montage. One of the reasons this artwork wasn't compatible with the Western release is that Japanese Super Famicom game boxes were usually designed vertically. Super Nintendo game boxes all had to be horizontal and have these specific logos and borders. The American releases had the artwork to the left and a black border to the right and bottom, with this logo in the bottom right corner and the seal of approval in the bottom left. PAL releases could have colourful borders and had the artwork to the right and this black bar with the Super Nintendo logo and the seal of approval in the bottom right hand side. They all had this uniform design with only a few minor variations, so this vertical artwork wouldn't have worked on a horizontal box. Super Famicom boxes, however, could be vertical, as most of them were, or they could be horizontal, like Gradius 3, or upside down, like Chrono Trigger. They seem to have a lot more artistic freedom when designing their cover art. The instruction manual also doubles as a poster map of quite limited use. I don't think many people got lost on the overworld map. Still, it looks nice. There's a long-running debate about which is the best Mario game, Mario 3 or Mario World. Given the prestige of Mario games, this puts both of these in the running for best games of all time. Mario 3 is undoubtedly a fine game. If I'd made Mario 3, I'd be like, yes, I'm happy with how that turned out. But Mario World has my heart. More than anything, this is because of my personal history with it. I didn't have an NES when I was a kid, and I only played bits of the NES Mario games at friends' houses. As a child, I had a profound yearning for a Super Nintendo. I remember standing in an electronics shop for what felt like hours watching the demo for Super Mario World. There's a bit in the demo when Mario bumps into a Koopa Trooper and loses Yoshi, and that made me want the game all the more, so I could avoid making that specific mistake when I played it. I think we all now recognize this as a technique used in game adverts. You know, when you see those adverts on social media where some incompetent dickfuck is playing a game and just fucking it up over and over again. This is to make you think, well, let me do it, it's so easy. For about a year, I thought I was more of a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. In the UK, Sonic 1 came out almost a full year before the Super Nintendo. Although I also never owned a Mega Drive and only played it at friends' houses, that gave Sonic a long time to live in my imagination. But when I spent that time staring at the Mario World demo in a shop, I was converted, and I started my long campaign to convince my mother to get me a Super Nintendo. I think the petition took over a year to pay off. When I finally did get a Super Nintendo and Mario World, I was fortunate to have such a neglectful parent that I was left alone in the house for a whole day, and I just sat down and played Mario World all day long. Modern science will tell you that sitting down in front of a screen and playing a game for a full day is bad for every part of your body and mind. But these same scientists are suspiciously quiet about the effects of doing the same thing for 60 hours a week as part of your job. This is what I think of as the Protestant ethic. One moment in the game, which was a huge roadblock for me, was this underground level. It killed me so many times until I memorized every move and every enemy. The memory I have of playing this game for the first time is that I sat down and played it the whole way through. I'm not sure now if that's a true memory because it's such a long game, but if I am remembering correctly, and I did finish this game in one marathon sitting, which must have played a huge part in transforming me into the nerd I am today, I would have only just managed to defeat Bowser because there's no way I would have found all the exits in a single day. Even though it was the first game I got properly obsessed by, I know I couldn't have got through all of those secret levels because they are absolutely mental. Because of this, Mario World is a great early example of dynamic difficulty. Do you remember that bit in Star Fox 64? On the first level, if you fly through all the arches, which is difficult to do, Falco praises you.
Pretty smooth flying, Fox.
And then you can follow him.
Follow me, Fox.
To challenge a harder boss and get to go down a more challenging route for the rest of the game. But if you fail later challenges, like allowing the Independence Day alien ship to fire its laser, you get bumped back onto the easier path. Mario World has something similar in its use of secret exits and secret levels. You can get to the end and defeat Bowser relatively easily, but to find every exit, or grab every star, or shine sprite, you need to be a certified gangster. It's like you choose how difficult the game is going to be by being better at it. Even though Mario World seems like quite a simple game by today's standards, it was quite a magical experience for me. I remember glimpsing the final area of the game in this shortcut, and staring at the shadowy fortress of King Koopa, and seeing him occasionally lit up by cracks of lightning. That's a really great use of foreshadowing. The music, the ambience. I also found these scenes of destroying the castles really beautiful. Most of the sprites are just the same ones you see during normal play of the game. I haven't seen this one of Mario turning his head like this elsewhere, so this could be a sprite made specifically for this scene. But these scenes are very simple, yet I loved them. They felt like they were better than a real cartoon to me. I had some save files just before destroying a castle so I could watch them again and again. Modern cutscenes in games, objectively, are infinitely more sophisticated, but I'm much less impressed by them. I think that's partly because I'm jaded and grumpy, but mostly because when you're in that age range of 8 to 12 years old or so, things like this can activate your imagination in a way that doesn't happen when you get older. I would stare at an illustration like this and get lost in all the little details. I read somewhere that Koji Kondo, the soundtrack's composer, said he composed so many melodies for Mario 3 that they ended up being less memorable. So for Mario World, he decided to reuse a few melodies several times. And when I read this, I thought, no, he's got that wrong. All the music is different. But then I listened a little more closely, and do you know what? It turns out this renowned musical genius knows more about his work than me, a dumb dickhead. So let's have a look at what I found. Overworld. Athletic. That's the same melody. Underwater. That's the same melody. Let's see what happens if we play them together. Oh, awful. They're at different speeds. Let's try adjusting the tempo. Now let's try playing them together. Oh, awful. No one needs to hear that. Let's listen again. Man, that sucks. The ghost house music is the same as the castle music as well. So there you go, isn't that interesting? The launch of the Super Famicom ended up getting significantly delayed, which gave the team at Nintendo some extra time to work on Mario World, and I think that's one of the reasons it turned out so well. There's just so much to like about this game. The controls and physics are all so tight, and the much smaller number of power-ups than Mario 3 tessellate so well together. The most important and innovative power-up in the game is, of course, Yoshi. He's so versatile and adds so many moves to Mario's repertoire. One minute he's breathing fire, the next he's flying with little wings. Anyway, I love this game. What do you think about it? And how would you describe the sound Yoshi makes when you jump on him? To me it sounds like the snap of a rubber whip. Qutssshh!